And so we dedicate this capsule to the civilizations of the future. Those who may dig this cylinder out of the ground in ages to come will find within it the tools, the inventions, and the scientific wonders which have made the era of the Solar Alliance one of peace and lasting prosperity. Captain Steve Strong paused, glanced at the huge crane and the shimmering steel capsule that dangled at the end of a cable, then called out, "Lower the capsule." The cheers of 100,000 people massed in the exposition plaza greeted the order. The stereo camera and teleceiver scanners that were sending the opening ceremonies of the Solar Exposition to all parts of the Alliance moved in to focus on the capsule as it was lowered into a deep, concrete-lined pit. The three members of the Polaris unit, standing to one side of the platform, joined in the cheers as their skipper shook hands with the delegates and waved again and again at the roaring crowd. "That was some speech, Tom," commented Roger. "I wonder who wrote it for him." "He wrote it himself, Roger," replied Tom. "Ah, go on," scoffed Roger. "Sure he did," said Astro indignantly. "He sweated over it for nearly a week." "Here he comes," said Tom. The three cadets watched Captain Strong, resplendent in his dress gold and black uniform, fight his way off the platform, shaking hands with congratulating strangers along the way. "Congratulations, Captain Strong," said Tom with a smile. "That was swell." Roger and Astro chorused their agreement. "Thanks, boys," gasped Strong. "But let me tell you, I never want to do that again. I was never so scared in my life." "Just making a speech?" asked Roger. "After all the lectures you've given at Space Academy?" "They weren't before teleceiver and stereo cameras." Strong laughed. "Do you realize this ceremony is being seen on Mars, Earth, and all the colonized moons, clear out to Titan?" "Wow," breathed Astro. "That would make me tongue-tied." "Ha! All that to stick a metal box into the ground," snorted Roger. "It's not the capsule, Roger," said Tom. "It's what's inside the capsule." "Right, Tom," said Strong. "Inside the capsule scientists have packed the whole history of man's march through the stars. They've included scientific formulas, medical, cultural, and industrial facts. Everything we know. Even some things that are known by only a handful of the most trusted men in the universe." Strong stopped suddenly and laughed. "There I go, making another speech. Come on. Let's get out of here," he cried. "Do we start showing people through the Polaris now, sir?" asked Astro. "In the morning, Astro," replied Strong. "Tonight there's a big Solar Alliance banquet. You three are invited, too." Stammered Roger, "You mean a banquet with a—" Strong laughed. "More speeches?" "I'm afraid so, Manning. Of course there'll be plenty of food." "Well, it's not that we're against speeches," ventured Astro. "Not yours anyway, sir," added Tom hastily. "But what we mean, sir, is that—" Strong held up his hand. "I understand perfectly. Suppose you stay here on the exposition grounds. Have a look around. See the sights, have some fun." "Yes, sir." The boys chorused their reply. "Just don't spend all your credits at the first booth," continued Strong. "And watch that Venusian cloud candy. It's good, but murder on the Earthman's stomach." "Captain Strong!" a voice called from the platform above. It was one of the Venusian delegates. "They want some pictures of you." Be right there, sir, replied Strong. He turned to the boys and smiled. You're lucky you don't have to go through this. See you aboard ship later. Spinning quickly on his heel, he made his way back through the crowd to the platform. What a great guy, sighed Tom. Sure is, agreed Astro. Well, fellas, announced Roger, we've got 12 hours liberty and a small-scale model of the whole solar system to have fun in. What are we waiting for? Fighting their way through the crowds in the plaza, the three boys finally reached the amusement area where they wandered among gaily colored booths and plastic tents, their eyes lighting up with each new attraction. 2 hours later, stuffed with space burgers and Martian water, their arms loaded with assorted prizes, won by Astro's prowess in the weightlifting booth, Tom's skill as a marksman, and Roger's luck at the wheels of chance, the cadets wearily returned to the Polaris. As they neared their section of the fair site, they heard a harsh voice appealing to a small crowd around the stand in front of Wallace and Sim's spaceship. A huge sign spelled out the attraction, Ride in Space, 1 credit. Luther Sims, a bamboo cane in one hand, a roll of tickets in another, was hawking his attraction to the bystanders. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Step right up. It's a thrill of a lifetime, the greatest sensation of the entire exposition. Ride a rocket ship, and all this for 1 credit. Alone, single credit, ladies and gents, will buy you a pathway to the stars. Step right up. In laughing groups, the crowd around the stand began to purchase tickets and climb aboard the old freighter. The three cadets watched from the outer edge of the crowd. Hey, fellas, said Roger suddenly, what do you say we go? What? Gulped Astro. On that thing? Why not? Urged Roger. But that hulk should have been shipped back to the scrap furnace years ago. Tom protested. So what, Junior? Drawled Roger. Scared? Don't be silly, replied Tom. But with all the other things to do here, why should we? Oh, said Astro, nudging Tom, now I get it. You get what? Asked Roger innocently. Those girls, said Astro. They're just climbing aboard. Glancing at the airlock, Tom saw 3 young and pretty girls file into the ship. Oh, so that's it, huh? He said, looking quizzically at his unit mate.